Past money to spend. Do you know the score for the other semi? Nuh-uh, because we're just getting into it. Kicking off right now, the top left side, our red Protoss player from Trap. From Jin Air Green Rings. This is Trap. This is what happens when they go and put their clan tags, their names in clan tags. Aye, aye, aye. Bottom right hand side, our blue Terran player, we got ourselves a Bunny from Blazer in this semi-final matchup to see who will advance to play U-Thermal in the grand finals of the 2018 has left the game. So yeah, U-Thermal 3-0 Drogo in semi-final number 1. Here we are in semi-final number 2 with Trap taking on the Bunny. Should be good. Gonna be cast on Base Trade TV in 3.5 hours as well, guys. If you want to check that out, I'm running my own event on Base Trade. Basically, I have a chance to do some sponsored content for Rifkin. So I'm running my own events so that we can get some viewers and then do some sponsored content. That's coming up later today on Base Trade TV. And again, about 3.5 hours time, we'll go straight from this stream to that stream. We'll just host ourselves up. There's this probe just nibbling away at these SCVs. Doing quite a little bit of damage so far. Cybernetic core drops down from Trap. He will not go into the Nexus right away. It's actually becoming much more common to go into that Cyber core first before Nexus. Obviously it delays the Nexus, but it does speed up the rate at which you get a Stalker or an Adept. And that can help a lot against what has been a lot of aggression as of late. But it also leads into some potential damage as well. As you see Bunny's CC SCV is taking a little bit of damage there. Oh, run, 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 run! For a moment he turned and fought back. That was not what he needed to do. Reaper will be out here in a moment, and that will give him the chance to clean up that probe. Probe's going to go running. We'll try and hide away. We'll see if Reaper is interested in hunting the probe down, or if he just wants to go across the map. For the moment, looks as though he wants to go across the map. So next, this is about halfway done here, as we do see the factories on the way up in the main base. Second refinery coming down, so going into double gas. Obviously looking to support probably Cyclone production alongside Starpool in the next few moments. By the way, thank you Chicken Man for that little host that you just brought in. Appreciate it. Twilight Council is coming into the main, so getting that up and running here. As Trap is coming across the map with his first Adept. Just to see what Trap does, whether it is just going to be for that nice fast blink or if he's got some other plans. Because we have seen Protoss players changing up a little bit lately, going for a couple of different builds and some all-ins even. So, interesting. Do you see this Reaper being chased away by the Adept, going up the right side. Blink on the way up in the main base, so getting that Chrono boosted out. Trap getting that out ASAP here, as we do see the Cyclone currently being built as well. Bunny's going to be okay though. It doesn't seem as though Trap's going to apply too much pressure right away. By the time Blink's done, Bunny should have a tank out to help him defend or so. And so we can continue to come through the top as Cyclone popping in the next few moments. Again, we'll see if he goes into that tank. I feel like a bunker almost essentially goes into a Widow Mine. And a bunker is almost definitely essential here, otherwise Stalkers will just shave off so many units. And there you go, Bunny putting that down, knowing the importance of this in these early stages. As that single probe, starting to poke forwards towards the natural, but deciding to stay a little bit shy of it, doesn't want to dive in too deep here. The Robotics facility drops down in the main base as well, with these 2 extra gateways still coming through. Blink currently being Chrono boosted out on that Twilight still. We do have that Forge coming down from Trap now in the main base. So, dropping that Forge down. You see the Siege Tank and Stim continuing to come through at the moment for Bunny. First few Marines just heading up the right hand side. Engineering Bay dropping down in the main. And the refinery on the natural. We finally get into a proper game of TVP though. Like, I feel like there's been one game of TVP today where we've actually seen Stim Pack finished and being useful. And there's been a couple, but like a lot of the time Stim finishes something, you know, a fight happens and the game's ended straight away. So I'm really hoping, with the fact that Bunny doesn't feel like he's set up to be super aggressive or anything, I'm really hoping we just have a nice kind of relaxed game where we get into some macro TVP, we get to complain about Protoss and Storm and Death Balls. You know, TVP is not the same if Terrans just all in and die straight away. You know, there's so much less to complain about. So that's what I'm hoping for here. Stalker's able to pick off the Widow Mine pretty easily. Obviously, Blink's pretty good against Widow Mines. So, able to set that off, Blink away. See Colossus on the way out from Trap. Again, these Colossus openers have been so useful lately. And really taken the preference of a lot of Protoss players. So, Colossus before super fast third Nexus. It's basically one of the two very common styles. The other style is to take a super fast third and just to play super heavy on the gateways, double upgrades, charge and Stalkers to kind of carry you through initially, maybe with a couple of Mortals backing you up, and then to generally transition into Storm, although a Colossus transition can be seen there as well. Combat shield starts from Bunny in the main base, so again that combat shield's up and running as we do see again a few more Marines just on the way up, Siege Tank on the way out, and another couple of medevacs just going to be popping in the next few moments. Stalkers coming through the top side. Marines taken down pretty quickly. Didn't even get the pro kill. Kind of a nice defense, but the Stalkers out of position to deal with this army coming in. So a couple of tanks do start to siege up that Colossus. Oh, needs to target fire the Colossus with the tanks because it will go down very quickly. The tank stays alive. Oh, man. Good damage already by Bunny, who will press even further forwards from this. A couple of SCVs came across as well. There's that stim, and well, the third Nexus from Trap is going to be delayed even further here. I mean, what is Trap going to do? Try and come in from the right side with Stalkers, maybe looking to infiltrate the reinforcement lines. He's going to blink right on top of these units here as well. Now we just see these units are going to come over. That tank's obviously exposed. Marines will stim in. Tries to save on the medevac, but it was just a moment too late. Still Trap losing a couple of Stalkers. This isn't free damage. And again, having cancelled the third base, Bunny says, well, cool. I mean, I'm keeping you on 2 bases. That's kind of all I want to do in the first place. It is 2 base versus 2 bases. 5 gate backs racks from Bunny, so he has a ton of production for what he's got at the moment. And charge not done at the moment, so the Zard's not able to come in here just yet. Stalkers will not get the tank. Oh my god, how many tanks will survive on super low HP today? This is just silly. Cyclone goes down as the Marines continue to work their way through this. Zard drop there. Medevacs will load up and go towards the main in the next few moments. Another tank pressing forwards. And Trap is looking really hard pressed in this game number 1. As Colossus is following those Marines, will not be able to do much about this. We're going to be seeing the Marines stimming forwards. And we are just going to be able to see the bunch of probes going down at the moment. So 16 workers killed. I mean, that drop in the main is just a great way to split this army up. Stalkers are still unable to actually deal damage to the main army, but picking off reinforcements is nice. It's just not enough in the long run. In the long run, you still need to kill the main army, and that's not currently happening. 2 more medevacs. Adding a few Marauders in here, realizing it's actually quite a lot of Stalkers from his opponent. Just getting a little few of those Marauders brought into play as well. Stalkers blinking in. We're going to be seeing those tanks firing away. Colossus goes down. This might be a cleanup from Trap, actually, but even if it is, he's down so many workers. I guess a couple more units coming in was going to make it a clean. I've been a subscriber before, I'm 99% sure. His name is too familiar for him to not have been. Thank you so much for the sub as we kick off into the bottom right hand side. Our red Terror player is Bunny. And at the top left, our blue Protoss. It's Trap. Alright, so off into game number 2 of the series. And actually puts us up on 666 subscribers. Feeling a little bit devilish today. Okay. Mods. I mean, I banned a guy because he said I was begging. I don't know about you, but working 8 hours a day and reminding people that they can support the stream so we can continue to bring the content isn't begging. So I've been on just a raft of bans lately because honestly I'm kind of sick of Twitch chat. Not all of you guys, a lot of you are lovely, but I've been getting very tilted lately. So instead of just kind of trying to respond to people that was making stupid comments, I've instead decided to just ban them. Because it's funny, but it seems to always be the same people, and it seems to always be the people that just don't actually care about supporting the stream, or just don't seem to like the stream. So, in a way, I'm doing them a favor because I'm giving them a reason to leave, which kind of seems like they need because they're not taking the hint from the fact they don't enjoy it in the first place. You know? Yeah, the people with swords in Twitch are the worst. You're right, Corvus. The sword users, like, they think they're all big and clever because they got a sword. Like, chill out, dude, it's a sword. I could get a sword too if I wanted a sword, you know? I'm not saying you all suck. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you say Twitch chat because it's very hard to say anything else, right? But there's a very small minority in Twitch chat that like to be very vocal. And the very vocal people there can be very frustrating to deal with sometimes. So I've just started to get rid of them nice and quick. Some of you have been lovely, though. Today's been pretty good. We actually haven't had any drama yet today, so shout out to you guys. Depth moving forwards in towards the natural, as we're going to be seeing the SCV here. In a little bit of trouble, another SCV. Oh, he actually finishes the command center anyways, so it's always nice. Oh, this SCV gets blocked out. Oh, and then the Adept was going to come in, so he has to raise the depot. Poor SCV. As the second Adept does arrive, and a couple of Marines on the way up here. Reaper now across the map and is looking to try and get in towards the main. The day I start worrying about toxic people in the chat, I let them win. I don't worry about them. I just think they're stupid. And some days I just can't be bothered to deal with it. I never worry about them. I know what they say is just them being idiots. For a long time I thought it would be better to try and help them understand why they're so stupid. Now I realize that there's no help in them, so it's better just to go in game and just keep on casting and just to ban them. Some people are just beyond help, you know. That's what I've seemed to have figured out for the most part. Stim on the way down here, Widowmine coming out as well. We're just going to be seeing that Reaper chilling out down to the south. Couple extra gateways coming down. There's a Twilight Council researching that blink. And the Adept is just has to back away just a little bit. Robo facility about to finish up in the main. Reaper is continuing to back off. And the +1 attack upgrade coming in on the engineering bay. Past Robo Bay once again. So Trap is still playing this Colossus-based opening. Forge dropping down in this natural expansion also, as we do see a pylon being built in the top right-hand corner. Starport comes up on the main base, going to be seeing another barracks coming down, and again, just getting this set up ready to go. Reaper escapes up through the top side, and +1 attack upgrade coming in. Really, again, just waiting to see what Bunny's going to do with the tanks coming up, because that will allow him to push. And that could create some opportunities for him. So there, Aurora. Have a good day, mate. Thanks for dropping by. Port Alexander is a fairly small map when it comes to pushing from natural to natural. Pushes come pretty quick. And the entrance to this third base area is actually really wide open, so it's definitely going to be tougher for Bunny to take positions like he took on Kairos to take an advantage. So that definitely should help Trap here to get himself set up and really establish a third base without issue. Because last game, obviously, he really got set behind and that push came in, and well, you know, from there he then lost the third base, and Bunny just kept on going and going and going. Bunny is also once again on a 4th and 5th rack, so showing currently no intention at all of going in towards a 3rd CC. He really just wants to keep on applying the pressure. Stalker's coming across. What am I going to go off? But the Stalkers blink off to the other side. Tank is firing quite nicely onto a few of those Stalkers. Some good damage being done. Marines and tanks continuing across to the upper left. We see this Colossus. I mean, this is actually very exposed. This army of traps actually in some trouble here. Oh man, one Colossus, one Sentry, it just goes down instantly. Traps out of location. Well, now the tank's on siege, but this is again only 4 Zealots and a Colossus. Like, that's not really scary at the moment. Tanks get sieged up. Stalkers picking off reinforcements again. Trap playing the same sort of play as last time, but well, it's not going well at the moment. Marines and tanks going to gather up down to the bottom. More Marines on the way out. Another tank coming up as well. And we do see those few Stalkers up to the top side. Trying to see what they can do. As we do see a probe also again picked off there. Tank goes down. Medevac goes down. Extra Marines also getting picked off as we see these Marines of Bunny also continue to fall. Tank sieging. Colossus fires onto a few of those Marines. Zal goes down and again pressing forward. This third Nexus. It's going to take quite a lot of damage. These tanks are going to be very important here, but the Stalkers coming in on the back are going to start picking them off, and Trap is starting to make this into a good defense after a bit of a disaster at the start of all of this. One of the Colossus goes down, but another remains, and against mostly Marines, it's actually going to be probably enough, because now blinking up this ramp, the Zults get surrounded, Medevacs go down, and Trap will continue to chase Bunny away. Bunny is probably not going to be able to hold on here, as we see just Trap having way too much, and obviously Bunny, his build's all about momentum and having an overwhelming army. He has no third CC, he has nothing to really fall back to, apart from production, which is just going to be matched or greater than from Trap, because he has an 11 worker lead, he has 3 bases mining. Zealot Stalkers and the Colossus going to come out and back away from the Terran army. Again, realizing no third base, there's no reason for me to press in, there's no reason for me to keep moving forwards in all of this. It's just backing away now instead. It's +1 armor. About to finish up. 2 Medevacs will load up as well here. Again, fully loaded actually. Medevac comes over, heals up an SCV. 1 tank unsieges. And pressing out onto the map to, well, Bunny try and do something once again here. He's about to have 1-1, so upgrades will be even going into this fight. I mean, he takes a sieged up position on his ramp between the natural and the third. I mean, is he really going to try and... Surely he's not going to try and take a third base, right? Surely there's no way. Honestly, how often do these Marine tank pushes work versus Protoss? Well, we just saw Ufilm win 3 games in a row with pretty much Marine tank against Drogo. And Bunny won game number 1 with a push just like this as well. So they're definitely becoming less and less effective. And we have seen obviously a few different variations of Marine tank pushes here. I wouldn't even say this is a Marine tank push as much as it's a, you know, a 5 racks, 2 base play. You know, the stem, there's a lot more than just Marines and tanks involved in this. And now obviously Marauders coming out too. SCVs will want to get into the front of this army. Start doing some tanking, keep those Colossus lasers from reaching the bio as much as possible. 25 workers already down. The army supplies still even-ish, but you got 3 Colossus to fight. An Archon as well. The splash damage is going to be pretty insane from the Protoss. I mean, yes, you've got those siege tanks, but is that enough? Probably not. Single Marine goes down again. Tanks continue. Siege bio will want to continue pressing forwards here. No, not just yet. Not just yet. Bunny's waiting for it. He's waiting for the moment, but every moment he waits feels like he just takes more and more damage. He's trying to creep forward with the siege tanks, but it's taking him a very long time, and that's having, again, a lot of negative effects on his army because he keeps losing a lot. And echo those tanks again creeping forwards, but now this is a 40 supply advantage from Trap. He's got multiple more Archons than he originally had. He's got, well, I think just way too much. Zealots flank in from the back, and they're straight on top of the tanks. Okay, those tanks going down so quickly. This immortal target fires a tank as well, gets the kill. And I mean, from there, it's just bio against Archons, Colossi. The rest of the units don't even really matter. GG from Bunny. And Trap ends up taking game number 2 to tie this above and beyond supporting the stream. This month especially, it's obviously December. Ad revenue is crazy. So I'm not allowed to tell you how much we get and whatever, but ad revenue this month is it's kind kind of, it is actually kind of ridiculous, honestly. Like, it is. I feel like, can I click on month? Yeah, let's do it like this. Ad revenue this month has been more income than ad revenue. So, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But ad revenue has been higher revenue than sub revenue, which should kind of hopefully give you a little bit of an idea as to why we do run the ads. So, and this is a really good sub month for us as well to really put it into perspective. So, you know, we're up on what, 670 subs at the moment. So then we've made more money off of ads. So again, I know a lot of you are like adverts, but adverts are again literally funding the stream a lot. So shout out to you guys who are watching. Top right hand side, our blue product is Trap. Bottom left, our red Terran is Bunny. 2-minute 37-second intro is not bad. Valley Council dropping down in the main base as Jack is on crack. Comes in for the Twitch Prime sub. That's one hell of a way to do it. I had to have a couple of decorations to get on the tree. I'll get you guys up very shortly, Walgren, and also Jack. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Whacking the sub count up as well. Thank you so much, Jack. Thanks for the work you do. Well, thank you so much for supporting. I appreciate it. This is a very early +1 upgrade from Bunny. I'm actually kind of interested to see what he does with it. Very interested to see what he does with it here. +1 attack is on the way out. There's the 2 racks opening. Fast free CC even. If I hallucinated Oracle from Trap, we'll see this. So, very bio-heavy opening, and as we see Trap is throwing down 2 extra gates and a Robo along with the Blink. I mean, for him it's very standard now, but he's only just now going to be able to go into this. So, yeah, time for Trap to show us what his response is going to be. And so far, I think kind of just what we expected. Going in towards a third base. It's kind of difficult to punish a free base Terran when you kind of just see it so late on. It's hard to just be like, quick, you know, let's just chrono boost Immortals and go kill you, or add on extra gates, because it just hits that little bit too late almost. As you see that Reaper just chilling out up to the top side. The Korean server lag is for not everybody, but it's for a good portion of people outside of Korea. It's something to do with the routing change. Like, at some point, they've obviously changed the routing to the Korean server somehow, and the new routing has made it so that we're just losing some data somewhere along the way, so that we're losing kind of completely stable connection. It's just weird because it never happened before, right? Like, it's definitely possible for us to have a stream on the Korean server without the lag, because we did it for years. Now out of nowhere it sort of shows up, and it obviously is a little bit of a shame. So it's really kind of just something to do with the connection to the Korean server. People are getting messed up a little bit. I'd love to know why it affects replayers. Surely it's just because if you're hosting a replay on the Korean server, you're still online, right? So when you host the replay, you're still connected to that replay via the Korean server. Right? Yeah, this is something, I say it's just started happening recently and stuff, but it actually happened in the past as well, but it wasn't as consistent as this. I feel like in the past, like, one day it might be bad, and then it would be kind of good for a couple of weeks, and then, like, another day it might be bad, but now it's, like, every day. It's a little bit frustrating, but there's really, again, nothing we can do about it other than suck it up and just sort of deal with it. I don't think they made a change to save money. I don't think it was intentional. Like, I feel like if they did that, nah, there's no way. Like, Blizzard know it's important and stuff. That would be silly. I'm sure they'll get around to it. They know about it. They were very active. As soon as we brought it up, actually, Blizzard were very active in saying, like, ooh, that's not good. You know, we're going to try and look into that as soon as possible, but it's obviously not an easy thing to look into and to figure out, so. Third orbital from Bunny comes into position. For the first time in this series, he's going to go past 2 bases. As he drops that down in location there right away. Medivacs loading up into with a whole bunch of bio. This is actually a pretty big drop heading to the main. Trap has got his Stalkers in the main base though. He has got a Zealot here to see these Medivacs boosting in, so the Stalkers will want to blink on top of this ASAP. Good scan. However, now you could maybe just drop on top over to the left side because the Stalker's out of position. Do you want to try and drop on top of this here? Doesn't look like it. Pulling away. Oh, the Medivacs have Stalkers have another blink to use, and he gets 2 full Medivacs. Oh no, Bunny's lost a lot already. That really hurts. We'll see a couple of Widow Mines going off. Stalkers blinking in again. And those units being chased out into the center. A couple of units of traps moving around. We see that charge on the way up. A few extra Zealots coming into play as well. A couple of Widow Mines pop out. And we are going to be seeing Bunny starting to move into the middle of the map. So Bunny going to get ready to jump in towards the main. But again, Stalker's in location already. Going to be able to turn this away without too much of an issue. Bunny's having a bit of a tough time. He's not really finding any damage. He's sort of just losing units and isn't really making much progress at all. He's down on only 45 SCVs as well, so despite the free CC, he kind of just stopped building workers. Like, it's not that he's just gone for like 2 base saturation and the extra mule, and then he's just hoping to win the game with this attack. Kind of like he just powered up in towards all the racks here on the free bases, and he's like, okay, well, boom, now I'm going to kill you, but obviously he's not doing a very good job at killing Trap here at the moment. So let's run into that third base. The few SCVs that are there get chased away. His Medivac's still loading up. He's got so many units in Medivacs. I'm really intrigued as to what that means. How he's going to approach it. He's going to start coming in over here. Is he gonna, I mean, if you unload a unit at a time here, though, the Zealots are just going to destroy it, right? Like, dropping on top of Colossus like this is not as effective because you're dropping straight into the Zealots. And again, Zealots, you need to kite away, not be dropping straight into them. This was not good. Like, Widow Mines here kill a couple Colossus, but Trap just absolutely shuts this down. It's game number 4. Top left-hand side up 2-1 on match point. Bottom player is Trap. Bottom right side, our red Terran is Bunny. What's up, Wash? How you doing today? Exclamation mark Patreon. I don't have my Patreon up again yet, Corvus. I'm gonna put it up soon, but I want to make sure it looks good and stuff before I do, and I have some good rewards and stuff. Just some stuff like that. I actually have a really cool reward that we're gonna set up. It's gonna be some good fun, I think. Doing well, looking forward to time off work. When do you finish for Christmas? On Friday? Or before? Private Snapchat, that's actually just, that's available to you guys anyway. You guys don't even have to sub for the Wardy Snapchat. You can just get my Snapchat anyways. It's the naughty Snapchat that you have to subscribe for. No, I'm joking. Before Twitch bans me. You don't even remember writing Patreon? Did you mean to write Portrait and you just wrote Patreon instead? Maybe that's what you're going for. Guys, 2 people have bought the Wardy Portrait. I'm hyped. I'm hella hyped. Go us. We are raking in the cash right now. You meant to type poor, right? Good job, Corvus. You nailed it. You bought one ALS? Thanks, dude. The Wardy Portrait or the naughty Wardy Portrait? Aye, aye, aye. If only. If only. Probe from Trap comes down at the bottom right, but a wee bit right on top of it to deny further scouting. So Probe doesn't see what's up that ramp, doesn't see what the follow-up is, doesn't know if it's a tech lab for the factory or what. So kept a little bit in the dark here for the moment. Is Bunny looking to potentially change up his style? Adept coming forward. Stargate finishing up here from Trap as the Adept is going to cause a little bit of an issue. And it is a reactor on this factory, so a couple of Hellions on the way out. So those do pop and just going to be seeing the again, the Adept being chased. And obviously will generally go down to these Hellions unless it can shade away. Second Adept comes over, maybe thinks he can fight it. Honestly, doesn't even do that much damage. A couple of shots on the Reaper, so the Reaper just pulls back. Now the next Adept is actually taking a bit of a beating as well. Is going to end up killing the Reaper and does shade away to safety, but I would say it's been a pretty good start from Bunny. Pushed those Adepts back. The Hellions doing their job so far. Mind drops on the natural. Stimpack on the way up. Medevac coming in as well. Couple of Widow Mines just hanging out here. Is going to be seeing another couple starting up on the reactor, but a supply block there slowed them down. He's also got a couple that have just unburrowed elsewhere, and they've actually gathered up. So now it is that 4 Widow Mine drop coming across the map. Talking about WCS 2019 announcement. I mean, guys, usually they announce it this time of year. Like, I wouldn't say it's late. I wouldn't worry about it. It's very typical of Blizzard to just wait a little while until it comes out. Honestly, it's going to be fine. We'll get it soon. It might also be, if they change up the format, which they are likely to do, if they change up the format, they may just need longer to sort things out and so on. And if they do just need longer to sort things out, then they also just need to, you know, maybe it becomes an after Christmas thing. And it might just be that if the WCS year doesn't start as early, for example, maybe, because maybe they change the format, maybe they don't need to announce it as early as well. So, or late, per se, but late may be early in this case, depending on the situation. Just giving you some reasons rather than just being like, no announcement, StarCraft's dead, bye. Phoenix actually gets itself blown up on that Widow Mine, which is a little bit careless, I feel. Obviously, the Widow Mine drop doesn't do any real damage, but still killing the Phoenix is nice. Although it was only a couple of Phoenix made this game, so not really a hugely influential kind of problem, I suppose. In a way, the Phoenix may even have been made to kind of actually blow themselves up on mines. They're kind of here to chase down the Medevac, etc., but now it's obviously not in position to chase down the Medevac, because the Medevac's still alive, so that's the one thing I would say about the Phoenix. They haven't really done their job. Liberator comes up the left side, which is where the Phoenix, I believe, was running back towards. Stasis ward here, a few Stalkers. And it's actually going to be a Medevac coming in. Sorry, I thought this was a Liberator for some reason. Stasis ward actually catches one of those mines. That's actually quite an annoyance. That going to be picked off there by the Stalkers, and the Widow Mine going to get taken down as well. Concussive shells, combat shields, all coming through. Good defense in the end by Trap, shutting this down. And lose the Oracle. I mean, that's. I mean, he should have just been a probe, right? So small shame, but otherwise Trap shuts everything down here. And again, Bunny's just not able to find any damage early in this game. He's used 8 Widow Mines and a Medevac. And in fairness, again, it's not like he's, you know, not killed anything. He's killed a couple of Phoenix, an Oracle, and a couple of Adepts, but the worker lines have been kept completely safe here, and that means Trap, his income, is starting to take, or will start to take that little bit of a lead as he gets up to the 3 bases safely. Can mine from there. Obviously, that 9 worker lead starts to come into play. Bunny with his own 3rd base, just coming up now. With that 3rd base, obviously able to start to morph it into an orbital as we see these Medevacs up the right hand side. A bit of an army going to move out also on the map as well. Stasis Ward, sorry, Revelation being used on the Oracle to just keep track of this army in the middle, but it's the 2 Medevacs at the top right that aren't seen at all. Dropped 1 Medevac off here to pick off whatever was here from Trap that was given some vision. Now we have two different armies. They drop in this army, although they kind of could have maybe gathered together and pushed into this base at the same time. It looks as though they might still even do that. Maybe just waiting for that revelation to fade in the next few moments will allow him to come in a little bit more kind of secretively. Although, I guess Trap kind of knows about it anyways. Here we go. Units from the top side as well. And Trap immediately coming forwards. Is actually forced to blink the Stalkers back super quick. We don't mind actually target the Sentry. That's a really good target because it means no friendly fire as well on the Zealots. And suddenly Trap is in a bit of trouble. He's on mass Stalker almost here. We don't mind, just gets some splash damage. Pylon killed, so the warp in is cancelled to the top side. With this many Marauders, Trap is not going to be able to hold this off at all. No, Widowmine or two coming in as well, so the Stalkers have to be very careful with how they blink. 14 probes down. Never Widowmine forcing the Stalkers to blink back, if nothing else. Now Zealots coming in, but they don't have charge. So these Zealots aren't even really dealing damage here. And Trap is just falling apart to Bunny in game number 4. As Bunny wants to see this go to a game 5. And Trap just didn't have anything other than these Zealots and Stalkers. And again, this was a large bio army. I mean, Trap's surviving, in fairness. He's surviving for a little bit longer. If an extra couple of Zealots showed up with charge, but I mean, charge is still not done. Okay, this is over. Trap is just going to be trying to clean this up. Will not be successful. I mean, at the very least, this base goes down. But the reality is the game is over beyond this base going down anyways. We do see a lot of reinforcements coming up. And the Maul shows up, which is a nice little addition finally. A couple more Widow Mines getting burrowed here, although the Zealot will tank one of those shots as it was going to go down anyways. The Maul will go to micro into the Prism. There's the charge. Finally seen these Zealots being a bit more useful, but they get cleaned out instantly. And there's the GG. That's going to be Bunny taking game 4 of this best of 5. Let's go into game. See what happens in game number 5. See who advances to the grand finals against Euthermal. Will we get a TVT, or will we be blessed with yet another TVP? We're going to be TVP masters by the end of today, guys. Like, it's just crazy. So many TVPs. Terran versus Protoss after Terran versus Protoss after Terran versus Protoss at the moment. Ridiculous. Top right-hand side of Automaton is our blue Terran player. This is Bunny. Bottom left, our red Protoss. We've got ourselves from Generic Green Wings, Trap. Second semi-final. 2018 has left. The game is coming to an end, guys. Again, it's been a great tournament. I don't know what we're going to do after this tournament ends, man. This tournament and the Christmas Invitational agendas tomorrow, they've just taken up the entire of my December. We've been casting them so much. I've been obviously doing a lot of admin work behind the scenes to get the players to play and make sure everyone can play at the right time and everyone's showing up. And we've been dealing with players who come into the playoffs and they couldn't play on the right day, and just issue after issue after issue. But we made it. I don't think we've had too much drama anywhere. And here we are, as we see that command center from Bunny. We'll drop down to get this started. So command center coming into play. Do you see the let's see if he's actually swap over there for a moment. Just puts the higher health one on the low ground just in case. Could make a small difference. Doesn't really cost him anything if the SCV was already down there for other reasons. Cybernex core finishing. Again, it's a pretty fast Cyber core. As the warp gate now comes in, and a Chrono Boost on the first Adept. Trap looking to maybe get that across the map and to apply some pressure here. Automaton's a bit of a funky map for game 3 to be game 5, sorry, to be played on. I like it though. Feels pretty fun, doesn't it? Feels like he's got some potential. Okay. See what happens. We're about to back away through the south side. As you see a probe just coming in to double check what's going on. Double check the expansion is on the way up, but it gets turned away before you can actually see anything else, so it doesn't know that for sure. And as the command center finishes, and it's Twilight Council opening once again here from Trap. So he needs to be a little bit careful not to lose too much to Bio and to make sure he's got the units up to actually defend those larger pushes. Just realized this was a heck of a bracket, says Whoosh. I mean, tell me about it, dude. It's been crazy, hasn't it? It's been a long tournament as well. It's been a real long tournament. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, not just the bracket, but I feel like the Korean server and the European server playoffs were some hella good games as well. Some of these groups were stacked. This has not been an easy run for any of these players at all. It has not been easy. As Hallucination currently heading towards the main base is going to be coming in here, and Marines on the way out. Factory building up a Widow Mine. And again, the Oracle just looping around those few SCVs there as it pulls back towards the natural. Oracle goes down, and we do see Macfield Accelerator was on the way up, but he cancels it. So maybe just trying to fake out for, you know, what's going on here to the Oracle, the Hallucination. If we check Trap's vision, obviously saw the two racks. Didn't actually see the factory upgrading those. That's interesting. Reaper and the Cyclone chilling out the front. They kind of want to lock onto those few units here. These Stalkers, the Sentry, the Adept. I want to try and get rid of those. Try and push them back a little bit, but the Marines are pulling back as well. Stim's not done yet, right? So, got to wait a little bit longer until you can really justify pushing in. And this tank coming in and sieging up at the edge. Reaper comes all the way down to the bottom side, and it's going to be seen a Robo Bay and a Forge starting up on the natural expansion. This Adept from Trap is pulling over as well. Blink on the way up here from Trap, about to finish, and an Observer currently on the way out from Trap as well. Stim is about 75% of the way done. The Stalkers of Trap continuing to just blink forwards here at the moment. We have that Hallucinate Oracle. Going to provide high ground vision. The Stalker's just blinking up there. Ready to press forwards. Oracle gets shut down. Stalkers are going to come in and again go for a couple of SCVs. Maybe. Oh, going to go for Blast. Stim. Oh, no way. Stim's so low, but it gets saved. It was so close to finishing as well. Almost a game end to that one. I mean, the other Stalkers, okay, they do have Blink still available. I was going to say, did they miss Blink? No. Their Blink was okay. And they do get out of there alive. Was just trying to pick up a little bit of extra damage there towards the end. Just a little bit more. We now have this Colossus on the way out of the main. Third Nexus dropping down on the bottom. 2 more probes on the way out. That was a nice blink away, or an attempt to, but then all of a sudden the couple of Stalkers were just a little bit too close and a bit too eager. So they actually took some splash damage off that mine. Could have been avoided. Combat shield still just getting set up here in the main base, so here you go for Bunny, who's on 5 racks, he's on 2 bases. He doesn't really seem to have much interest in expanding once again. He just wants to go and try and win this game. Marines, tanks, and medevacs. He's going to be equal on upgrades. He's going to be up against Colossus. That's where the tank target firing is going to become very important as Trap sees this army coming across the map. He knows what's going on. He knows what's happening. Bunny coming down and across the Zod, going to be locked onto. Marines able to pick up the kill. Stalkers out into the center as we do see a couple SCVs with this. Not sure if they're intending to come across the map. But he starts to siege up from a distance. That's a good thing from Trap. It buys him a lot of time for extra warpins. We saw this back on Port Alexander where Bunny was trying to push forward so slowly with the tanks. And eventually Trap just had so much more army supply than he originally did. Bunny just needed to kind of make those moves a little bit more decisively earlier on. Obviously it's very hard to do that. As you see these medevacs getting pushed back to those Stalkers blink in. More bunkers are going to start coming down. Tanks again sieging up and again just starting to press forwards here. Stalkers getting a couple of Marines. These medevacs boosting away towards the main. Tanker siege and again good damage being done. Another couple of Stalkers falling. Medevac coming in at the front. We see that Zealot taking some damage. And these Marines still gathering up together to push and take down the third base. So third base is probably going to go down here, as we still have Zealot, Colossus, sentries up on the high ground. Once Zealot goes down, this pylon drops, this Nexus will fall. Going back a little bit there, Stalkers from the backside unable to do anything, and Bunny is going to get the third Nexus. Stalker's going to be thinking about trying to catch those libs. That's actually a nice position, but it means, again, while they're shutting down reinforcements, it's also tough because there is actually a good chunk of reinforcements here that can actually fight those Stalkers. These libs just need to be careful not to go too far ahead, because obviously then they're easy pickings. So just wants to be very careful about that, as Trap will try and re-expand out in the front. Bunny coming over. We're obviously very kind of resilient on these bunkers and these tanks. Does Trap try and break this before the reinforcements are here? Probably, but Bunny's unsieged. He wants to try and get back towards the rest of his army, but man, being unsieged already, that's hugely disadvantageous. The Marines coming in from the top side will help a lot to get rid of these Stalkers. It's the Colossus that I just don't know what you're going to do about them. I mean, coming in, trying to target them down. Bunny, what a time to unsiege. I mean, I understand he wanted to get back to his reinforcements, but Trap had just timed it out perfectly anyways to kind of come in before the reinforcements were here. And so by unsieging, Bunny just made that fight a lot better for Trap. And Trap holds on, and Trap will push this back. Re-expanding to his third base, up in workers. Army supply looking good, about to be ahead on upgrades as well. +1 armor just completing. And without any fear at all, starts +2 attack upgrade as well. So Trap has 3 Colossus, and there's only really 1 or 2 tanks after Bunny. They're not going to be able to target the Colossus down very easily. Stalkers blink in for 1 tank kill. The other tank to the top side is probably not going to be enough. GG's. Trap takes game 5. And we have